Suck going live today. We're testing out Riverside yet again. I don't know if the platform just doesn't like me, or maybe I'm not as technically inclined as I think that I am because I have mangled a few episodes. So if you use Riverside and maybe I'm missing something, hit me up. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Today, I want to talk a little bit more about the idea of what sells when it comes to podcasting. And in my experience, I've learned that certainty is most often the expressway to anybody buying what you have to offer. It makes them buy, literally. Certainty moves people to buying action, which is what most business owners and entrepreneurs want. Today, let's talk about how podcasting builds trust in the buyer. So, in order for them to say yes, they have to trust you. Know, like, and trust. A podcast allows you to lead with being able to do something for them, interview them. And when you're interviewing them, by default, when done correctly, asking the right questions, not being salesy, genuinely caring, you got to understand people are skeptical by nature. It is your job as a podcast host, future podcast host, wherever you may be, to set the tone and build a foundation that's comfortable for your listener. If it is, skepticism goes out the window. If it is, trust is established sooner rather than later. And I'm telling you, the faster you can get them to trust you, the faster you're going to get them to buy from you. Most sales strategies try to convince people, and that's unfortunately not how sales works. Of course, during a podcast interview, you're not trying to convince the person you're interviewing about anything other than the fact that they trust you. They have certainty around the conversation, which means skepticism is not available. And they have that feeling of, you know what, I trust this person. Even if they just met you, you've given it to them. Well, Sebastian, that's all established through a podcast interview. It is, because before you start the interview, you are having a conversation with them, letting them know how the interview is going to go. Then you're conducting the interview in a very productive, make it all about them manner. And then at the end, you chop it up for a little bit. Maybe you bring something up that they brought up during the podcast interview that's relevant for you to circle back on, identify a potential pain point and opportunity, and then take the conversation from there. Whether it's let's schedule a call, let's talk about it right now, whatever the case may be, but not being salesy. Somebody asked me that yesterday. Hey, isn't it kind of salesy to invite someone on your podcast and then pitch them? Sure, if you invite them on your podcast and pitch them, but that's not what we're trying to do here. What we're trying to do here is build rapport with the person that we're talking to, and then be able to identify an opportunity through that conversation. This isn't rocket science. You got to understand, people, the problem is buyers don't trust easily. You're a buyer yourself. You don't just come out and go, you know what, I think that's for me. Unless it's a large brand that's established trust with you because friends, family, somebody close to you has engaged or done business with them. Then we talk about the power of repetition with this process. Imagine doing this once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week. Heck, how many sales calls do you make every single week, or do you take? Imagine, in lieu of an outbound sales call, it is a podcast interview. What does that look like? I don't know. You tell me. Trust is built through repetition, being consistent, consistently showing up in people's minds so that they feel like they know you, Like if you tune into this podcast and you listen to me every single week and we've never met, we've built some sort of rapport together by default. If you ever want to start a podcast, I'm probably top of mind and you're probably going to reach out. That's the idea. But I had to first earn that trust. And I did that by providing valuable content. In this case, you're doing it by interviewing people that you want to do business with. Podcasting lets people hear your voice every single week and consistently. You're in their ears, solving their problems, showing up consistently. And when you do that, you win. Podcast builds certainty in people's minds. When people are certain, they trust you. When they trust you, there's no skepticism. When they're certain about something, when we are certain about something, absolute clarity. There's without a shadow of a doubt. This is the absolute obvious choice and next decision for me. Repetition, weekly episodes every single week builds certainty. You're all up in their earbuds every single week, consistently providing value. That builds familiarity. Reassurance. You reassure them. Real stories, real talk equal, this person gets me. You ever hear a speaker talk and you're like, they're talking right to me? That's what happens. And then realness. No filters, no BS, just your voice plus value equals confidence. And when you've got that, people buy from you because they're confident in what you're saying. They trust you. There's no skepticism. Here's why this leads to sales without selling. Number one, buyers who binge on your podcast are already pre-sold. By the time they book a call with you, they already know what they're going to do. They've probably already made a buying decision and they're probably already convinced. And then this way, you're not doing the convincing, you're doing the confirming, answering any questions, adding some additional clarity, whatever the case may be, to make the conversation just that much smoother. People buy when they feel certain, not when they feel bullet points. Understand? Certainty versus a bunch of bullet points that they can read. Here's my final thought. Your podcast isn't content, it's certainty on repeat. If you're not podcasting yet, start. If you've been considering starting a podcast, the time is now. If it's ever shown up, maybe I should. No, there's not too many podcasts out there. Are there too many books out there? You're creating something for your community. You're creating something for you. A podcast is a networking vehicle to get in front of people that you want to do business with, to increase sales, build new relationships, get your social media content game in check, become a better communicator, and then fill in the blank. Who do you get to become? Thanks for taking some time out of your day to hang out with me for a few minutes. There's a lot of places and things you could be doing right now, but you choose to hang out for just a couple minutes here. If you're listening to the podcast, thanks for listening and subscribing. Tell your friends about the show. Questions, ideas, feedback, send me a DM on Instagram. If you're watching this live on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn, what's up, live family? Thanks for tuning in. Leave a comment below. I do respond to each and every one of you lovely people. Until next time, remember the time right now.